You guys mentioned Ric Flair a couple seconds ago. What are your thoughts on Ric Flair?
He needs to stop getting married.
It's good advice.
I love Rick. I love Rick to death. I still get phone calls from him. He's a nutcase, and I love talking to him. And I'm glad I think he's decided to not work anymore. I think the Jerry Lawler incident scared him quite a bit.
That's what I heard.
I'm glad to hear that, because a couple of those times in TNA, because the affection I have for Ric Flair and the respect I have for Ric Flair was felt very scared that something bad was going to happen in there, because he don't have a slow motion. If he's in there, he's going to go. He's going to go hard, and I loved working him. I loved talking to him. I don't know. Very few people I have more, affection for and respect in this business than Ric Flair.
I do too. I love Rick, and he's been really good to me. Like, I hear from him too. He'll check in with you once in a while, and he's good to the people he likes. If Rick doesn't like you, he'll let you know that too. But if he likes you, he's always been good to the people I've seen that he kind of takes a liking to. The best way for me to describe Ric Flair is a 21-year-old soul trapped in a 66-year-old man's body.
He is trapped.
And it's just like, I don't think that's ever going to change. He's the nature boy through and through. He's always going to be broke for the rest of his life, because he's going to spend every money, every dime, every
He's
cent.
not taking it with him.
No, he's going to spend every cent he has portraying the nature boy role.
He's counting on the Mayans to take us out. That's what it was. What it is. He's counting on that December 21st. I don't know when this is going to come out, but if we're still here, Rick's like, damn it. I was pretty sure that was it.
So yeah, man. I mean, Rick contributed a lot to the business, like you said, being one of the best at going out and taking someone with a very minimal amount of talent and getting something, good to great out of them. Mm-hmm. And just living the gimmick through and through. Like they people truly believe he's the Nature Boy, because he is the Nature Boy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is the Nature Boy.
And he built stars. And there's a lot of top guys that don't necessarily go out of their way to build other guys, and they say they do. And they say they want to, and they say that's what you're supposed to do, but they don't do it. Flair did it. Flair created whether it was Luger, whether it was Sting. Anybody that he went in the ring with came out looking better afterward. They were a bigger star just by being in the ring with Flair. I remember him having a match with damn Alabama State Junior Heavyweight Champion Mike Jackson, on Saturday afternoon wrestling on TBS, and going out there and just whatever he went 5, 10, whatever minutes he went, was like all of a sudden this guy's a world beater. He could just make anybody look great, and at the same time he still stayed Ric Flair, the world heavyweight champion. He could go over and still elevate the guy at the same time. It wasn't like just because he went over and pushed this guy down, he could go over and elevate the guy at the same time. My vote, if I had to ever, as I love Savage to death, and I think Eddie Guerrero is right up there as far as being the best over-round performer, but if I had to ever say one guy that I think was just the best of all time, it'd be Ric Flair.
What about your favorite Shawn Michaels? Thoughts on any good stories on Shawn? I know you might have to hold Shane back during this.
It's one of those things that the few times I've worked with that'll stand out. I'll give that to you. The few times I've worked with Shawn, he was okay. Shawn was obviously a big inspiration to myself and Jeff. We like the Rockers. We want to be brothers, a tag team. And I think for the run he had, which wasn't as long as like a Ric Flair. Ric Flair has to go down as like the greatest of all time, just because of the length of that run and how he was great with so many opponents. Shawn was so dynamic with so many different opponents, because Shawn not only was a good wrestler, he could make things look really believable, and he got to the point where he became a good talker, a very good actor. His looks and facial expressions were really good, but also Shawn could be exciting. He could dive, he could come off the top. He was a great. Shawn definitely is one of the greatest packages of a professional wrestler that's ever been put together. With that being said, Shawn was like hell on wheels back in the days before his back surgery, especially when he was on top with DX, and he was, he was a self-professed dick to many people. He'd send people home and starve them. And I think people do change, and he changed some, but still there's that part of Shawn, that still wants to be the controlling force in his career, and he has to be he has to get the final say in everything that goes on. I think some things did change in his life, but there's still little parts like He's going to tell you a story about, like, he was doing the choke slam with Kane. It was part of the whole gimmick, and Shawn didn't like it. And because Shawn didn't like it, he talked to the powers that be, and it didn't happen. And I'm like, is that really necessary in the big scheme of things? I mean, is that really going to change business? I mean, it's not like the Hurricane was, the whole concept behind the Hurricane was a fictional, entertaining superhero character. I think it's okay to do a fictional, entertaining superhero thing, especially in a world where serious characters throw other guys to the ropes and they come back. So I don't know. I think Shawn goes down as one of the greatest of all times. Shawn has never done anything personally to me. I've seen situations that I've been around where he's certainly rubbed people the wrong way and maybe been a little two-faced or not tell the person directly to their face. Where an Undertaker would tell you the issue directly to your face. So would a Stone Cold. He'd tell you the issue directly to your face. Shawn was a little bit of a different beast when it came to that, and I think that rep, really stuck with him from those earlier days. And I think even though he became a better person overall, there was still a very vicious part of him as a professional wrestler, in that business world.
Were you gonna say anything, Shane?
No need to rehash old shit. People know how I feel. I will say this: when my son popped out early, 10 weeks early, Shawn went out of his way to send me a best wish, prayer tweet for my kids. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really have anything more bad to say about him. Not bad. One of the best in-ring performers, and I think I've said before when we did our shoot, anything I said about Shawn Michaels, I should have addressed him as Michael Hickenbottom, because I think it's Michael Hickenbottom that I don't like. Shawn Michaels is one of the best of all time.